Thank you once again for joining us for another ball review. This one is for the latest addition to Roto Grip's HP3 line, the Idol. I'm using my typical test layout again, 65 by 5 1/4 by 40. I mentioned the color variation that the Idol is going to have in my podcast number 19. Ours both are more berry, but Angel's has a little bit more phasing than mine does. The Idol has brand new everything, the new and very strong Icon core, and the new Microtrax 18 cover, which is their strongest blend of nanotechnology to date. Unsurprisingly, it hooks, and it hooks a lot. It was described by Chris Schlemmer as a stronger Haywire or a perfect replacement for the Marvel S, and I would have to agree more in the first case, but somewhat in the second. I think the Idol is even a few boards stronger than the Marvel S and has a rounder shape. Despite the symmetric core, the Idol challenges several asymmetric and consequently more expensive balls in terms of overall strength. Roto Grip has seemingly taken the stance to just go bigger and bolder than anyone else, as 3 of their 4 performance levels now, in my opinion, own the best bang for your buck releases on the market. There's nothing that hooks more than the Hustle HYB for HP1 price. There's nothing that hooks more than the original Show Off for the HP2 price. And now there's nothing that hooks more than the Idol for the HP3 price. A more appropriate volume of oil could prove this to be an inaccurate statement, but I'm going to claim that the Idol is even stronger than the No Rules Exist, while the Sherlock still has it by maybe 2 boards at the most. It's easily stronger than any of the 3 Daredevils in the line before it, reminding me of the Trick with more pop on the back end, in addition to being 3 to 4 boards stronger. It comes as no surprise with this ball that the pros are going to be hook potential and control, and the cons are obviously that it needs an amount of oil that most of us aren't going to see very often. This is a shame because, as you can see, it has a very nice strong arc, my favorite shape, so I'm likely going to try to mirror shine it in an attempt to get away with throwing it even when I probably shouldn't be. To me, this is a one ball for you collegiate bowlers out there, if there ever was one, and I feel very comfortable saying this is the strongest symmetric ball in the market. I feel like this is the type of ball that could be successfully used by anyone, or that it's more condition specific than bowler specific. It should be in play much more for the lower rev or high speed bowler. Those of you with ball speeds on the slower side or higher rev rates are going to need a lot of oil for this one. Moving now to Angel's part of the review. As with the Codex, she also got to throw her Idol before I did, but this one didn't stay out long for League, partly because she really wanted to use her Special Agent 2.0 in the Codex. Mm-hmm. It fits her rev rate, but her speed is still a little bit too far on the slow side to be able to use this ball in League without a lot of polish, and she probably won't be able to use it much unless she's bowling elsewhere on heavier conditions. The good news is, though, that being nano, even though we don't really have the volume for it, it still doesn't bleed energy or burn up nearly as bad as most other reactives do. You're either going to give it angles that are too tough for it to overcome, or it's just going to hook off the planet. It either hooked or didn't hook. It didn't look like it was struggling, or it didn't look like it was getting to the spot and then just puking or throwing up. It either got there or it didn't. So it was more of an angle thing.
I'm not used to playing with angles.
Yeah.
Not like that.
This is much deeper than she usually plays and likes to play, but the ball still looked very good from angles that she's never really even ventured into before. I mean, have you ever even played that deep before?
No, I've never been over the left gutter, I don't think, in my life. If I had to hook a gutter, it's going in the gutter.
I think I put some comparison shots up here to show you that we're pretty well playing the same part of the lane. Now, like I said earlier, I'm having to be very firm and taking some hand out of it, but we're kind of playing the same area of the lane, and so this ball is extremely, extremely strong. I think even with the Codex is about the same area that you were playing, or which one were you deeper with, the Idol or the Codex?
I think it was really similar, but with the Idol, I guess because it doesn't have that angle, that I thought I needed to help it. And so I think that's when it went really weird for me.
Yeah, and I think that is the distinction between the two balls, is that the Codex, having that asymmetric core, has that torque on the back end to help it really finish and punch strong. And with the symmetric cores are generally a little bit smoother, a little bit more controllable. And so I had the same problem too filming the videos initially, because I just didn't expect it to hook as much as it did. You let it go and it just glides for the first 20 or 30 feet, and then it just starts grinding and chewing and going nutso.
Yeah, with the X, it took a left turn like no other, but with that one, it was just kind of just so
nice and smooth.
Yeah, but with the gradual thing, I almost didn't know when it was going to turn. With the ones that have like the sharp turn like the X, I could, at that point it's going to turn. I knew.
Yeah, it's got a lot more of a visual cue, or
Yes.
it's a lot more visually simple.
Yes. And I'm still horrible with knowing when to adjust. So I think with the smoother one like this, I'm going to cue off you a whole lot more that, okay, I don't know what I'm doing now. When do I move? Where do I?
That's my type of thing, so we can definitely cover that. But
Yeah. Knowing when to move is a lot easier when you have that sharp angle. And when you have the smooth, I'm a little lost still.
Yeah.
It's just, but I mean, you've been doing this twice as long as I have, so.
yeah. Now, as far as color variation goes, I know that you're not necessarily the biggest fan of the color, is it?
No.
She's not a big purple fan.
I despise purple. I don't know what it is. And it's not a KUK state thing. I just don't care for purple. I even take a pink.
Yeah.
And I'm not much on pink either, but I don't know what it is with purple.
But there is going to be a lot of color variation because they've never done a solid color nano cover before, and so the first stock photo they put out was kind of magenta, and then some other people saw some Alex Hoskins. Chris Schlemmer shared a shot of Alex Hoskins throwing it, and his looked quite a bit brighter and quite a bit more purple. And so then they put another stock photo out that is a lot more purple, and I think both of ours kind of look the same. Hers has a little bit more phasing or the white streaking in it than mine does. But ours are kind of more berry. They're kind of right between that magenta and purple. It's kind of just like a berry or something. So thank you for joining us for our review of the Roto Grip Idol. It releases on March 9th. #SquatRG. For extra premium content, early access, behind-the-scenes looks, private Q&As, blogs, and more, join a passionate new type of bowling community at www.patreon.com/Luke Rosdahl.